Welcome back everyone, it's Charlie. This is going to be my new Venom 2 video. Sony just made some big announcements about the movie. We got a bunch of details, we found out what the title is, we know more about the Spider-Man crossover of it all, so we'll break it all down. If you're new to my channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the videos. We're doing an Amazon giveaway. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and leave your favorite Venom Spider-Man crossover moment in the video. So just going down the list here, starting with number 5. If you didn't see the news this morning, Sony officially announced they've delayed the movie to next June, which does suck. Nobody wants movies to be delayed, but it totally fixes some of their other problems with the Spider-Man crossover timeline process and the way they had originally planned on working Tom Holland's Spider-Man and all the Sinister Six Easter eggs into the Venom movies and Marvel's Spider-Man 3 movie over in the MCU. You have all these people trying to explain how the Venom movies can cross over with the MCU but somehow not be in the MCU, so it gets kind of complicated. They had a plan, but then all these scheduling changes messed that up a little bit. Now they fixed it again. You may have also noticed that they waited to delay the Venom movie till after Warner Bros. Delayed the Batman movie next year, because Venom 2 basically took the Batman's original release date in June next year. They didn't need to delay Venom 2 that much. They only needed a little bit more time to finish filming the movie and special effects, so they could have released it in December if they wanted, but Sony is just really thirsty for those big summer movie release dates. They're just stuck on the idea that there's only a couple weekends a year when their big Spider-Man movies can earn money. The other reason is they're also trying to avoid overlapping too much with the regular MCU Marvel movies that are coming out early next year and in the spring. So you have all these comic book movies, all these Spider-Man movies coming out in the first half of next year. My assumption now is that they'll wait to release the Venom 2 trailer till later this summer or possibly towards the end of the year. But if I have any news about that or they do drop any footage or teasers, of course I'll do a video about that. So number 4, Sony also just revealed the official title for Venom 2, and it's not Maximum Carnage like a lot of us thought that it might be. They're calling it Venom, Let There Be Carnage, which isn't exactly a banger. That's not my favorite title ever, but I think it just confirms that they're saving the Maximum Carnage title for the big, full-blown Spider-Man Venom crossover movie that's happening later after Spider-Man 3. Because if you're not a big comic book reader, the Maximum Carnage story was primarily a Spider-Man story told from Peter Parker's perspective. So Maximum Carnage was more like Spider-Man versus Carnage, with Spider-Man putting a team together and then Carnage putting a team together. And Venom just helps Spider-Man out. But they didn't do Maximum Carnage till after the first few Carnage origin story issues within the Spider-Man comics. There was originally a Venom Spider-Man team-up to fight Carnage before Maximum Carnage. So quick backstory on that. Eddie Brock Venom had been defeated by Spider-Man in an earlier fight thrown in Rikers prison in New York City. His cellmate was Cletus Cassidy. The Venom symbiote comes to bust Eddie out of prison and in the process spawned an offspring symbiote without realizing it. The symbiote just bonded to the nearest person, who happened to be Cletus Cassidy. He went on a small rampage, also breaking out of prison. Spider-Man had a mini team-up with Venom to stop him, and they used their old sonic weapons trick that Spider-Man learned back when he was using the church bells to get rid of the symbiote back in the day. Cletus Cassidy gets taken to the Ravencroft Institute for Psychological Study. While he's there, he changes back into Carnage, breaks out again, and that sets off the events of Maximum Carnage. That became a much bigger Marvel comic book crossover event with other supervillains and superheroes taking sides. It would be something more akin to Sony doing their own version of Captain America Civil War, but just with Spider-Man characters. So 3, what is the new Venom Morbius Spider-Man crossover timeline? So Morbius is coming out in March next year now. We saw the Morbius trailer. They're clearly trying to establish that Spider-Man exists in their universe. This is happening in New York City, this scene right here with the graffiti. I know it's a little confusing with the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man suit that's supposed to change to the Tom Holland suit by the time the movie comes out. They're trying to imply that Tom Holland's Spider-Man exists in the same universe where this Morbius movie is taking place. We also saw that they're setting up the Sinister Six movie, as we saw with the Vulture scene of him breaking out of prison. Thank you very much, Morbius, for the assist.
It's on our little spider friend. I've got some boys on the outside who'd love to meet him. You know, take a picture, slice his throat, put his head in a dryer. And I heard a rumor. You know who he is?
Spider-Man's name is Peter Parker. What the?
They were also supposed to be using this prison breakout scene to explain how Cletus Cassidy breaks out of that prison. Even though he doesn't appear in this Morbius trailer, the prison that they're all breaking out of in this scene is supposed to be the same prison from the end of the Venom movie. That's San Quentin in California. The Scorpion is also supposed to be in there too somewhere. So that sets off the beginning of Venom, Let There Be Carnage, as the movie is now called, the story of what happens when he breaks out of prison, and as he says in the first Venom post-credit scene, causes a bunch of carnage, and in the process of that, gets bonded to the Carnage symbiote. It sounds like the origin story for the Carnage symbiote will be relatively close to the comic book explanation. The Venom symbiote spawns, Eddie has no idea that's even possible, so he's not even paying attention, and then the symbiote becomes bonded to Cletus Cassidy, who just happens to be nearby. We saw them filming some scenes earlier this year of Cletus Cassidy stalking Eddie Brock outside his San Francisco apartment wearing that red and yellow Hawaiian shirt, so it sounds like Cletus just starts coming for Eddie after he escapes out of prison, and that would explain how he's nearby when the Venom symbiote might spawn the Carnage symbiote. They were also filming a lot of big church scenes, so I'm wondering if they're going to bring some of that original Spider-Man Venom origin story from the church with the bells into the Venom 2 movie. This actress is playing Shriek in the movie. She's also a Maximum Carnage comic book character that teams up with Carnage. It inevitably sounds that Venom will defeat Carnage by the end of the movie, at least temporarily. Then number 2, there's some sort of Tom Holland post-credit scene Spider-Man cameo, just setting up Venom Spider-Man Maximum Carnage crossover. Here's the thing though, Venom 2 coming out in June, Spider-Man 3 is still coming out in July, just a month later, even though Venom isn't supposed to be in Spider-Man 3. That's mostly the story of Spider-Man clearing his name, proving to everyone that Mysterio lied about what happened, and preventing whatever new Sinister Six villain they introduce from hunting him down, quote-unquote, now that everyone knows his secret identity. Spider-Man John Wick 3, with everyone coming for him, open season on Spider-Man. I did a video about this a little while ago, but it was also reported that Amy Pascal revealed that Spider-Man 3 would have home in the title like the other 2 Spider-Man movies, so post all your Spider-Man 3 title theories in the comments. It's always possible there's some kind of Venom post-credit scene at the end of that also teases future crossover, but as far as Kevin Feige has said, all the Venom Spider-Man crossover stuff is totally just a Sony thing, so I think that just implies that you'll see more of Tom Holland in the Venom movies than Venom showing up in MCU Spider-Man movies. In number 1 WTF, because Sony is saving the Maximum Carnage title for a later movie, when they do their full-blown Spider-Man Venom crossover, inevitably, they just do that as Maximum Carnage, in the style of a Captain America Civil War battle lines being drawn scenario. Just imagine the airport battle if it were all Spider-Man characters on both sides, although I don't think that Sony is going to go quite as big as the MCU's version of Captain America Civil War.
Underoos! Nice job, kid.
Well, I could have stuck the landing a little better. It's just a new suit. Wait, it's nothing, Mr. Stark. It's perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, we don't really need to start a conversation.
Okay. Captain, big fan of Spider-Man.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later.
I'm using Captain America Civil War as the comparison because Avengers Infinity War was an Infinity Gauntlet story with Thanos snapping half of all life in the universe, and unless Carnage were to get a new Infinity Gauntlet, the story of that movie wouldn't be nearly as big in scope as Infinity War Endgame. Maybe if Sony could ever do a live-action Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, that would be more akin to a giant Infinity War level story, or if they did Null the God of the Symbiotes. So everyone just post all your reactions to this in the comments below. What do you think about the Venom 2 title, and do you think that they'll ever be able to work up to a giant Null God of the Symbiotes storyline? Marvel actually just capped off a giant Venom comic book storyline that got super cosmic, where you basically have Venom saving the entire universe. It would be crazy if they could ever pull that off in a movie. Imagine what it would look like if Venom rebooted the entire universe. It would be crazy, but that feels like too much of a copy of Avengers Endgame. I'll name a new giveaway winner when I post a new Marvel video. There's a couple of the really big things that just dropped in the past couple of days, so I'll try to post those videos as soon as possible, but leave all your Spider-Man Marvel video requests in the comments below. Everyone click here for that Venom 2 teaser trailer, and click here for my brand new Guardians of the Galaxy 3 Marvel video. Thank you so much for watching. Everyone stay safe. I'll see you guys tonight.